So what can be? There are broadly two options you can choose. What will be A? What will? If you need money, you can you can have some others money, and there are two ways to raise this kind of money, right?
Investment. You have investors.
Attracting investors,
Yes.
right? Investors, right? And
By the bank.
bank, yeah, go to the bank. Yeah. Save me, go to the bank and save me, right? Yeah. Broadly, there are two types of financing. One is stock market. You go to the stock market, issue the stock, and then you sell the stocks, right? And then the investors they buy the share, part of the share of your company, right? Or the other one is you can go to bank, right? And then give me money, or borrow money, lend me money, right? That's the way, right? Well, in shipping, it is rough estimation, but 75% of financing comes from bank. Yeah, comes from bank. Well, it is just a rough estimation, but usually, right, when you order a ship and you need financing, right, then 20% is your own money, and rest of the 80%, it usually comes from bank. It usually comes from bank. Traditionally, so the shipping market, the shipping companies depends on bank financing or bank loans, right? But in early 1990s, shipping companies tried to diversify their funding sources. So they listed their companies on the stock market, usually on the U.S. stock market, right? And high bond and private equity since 1990s. But still, the majority of the shipping, the money for shipping to run a shipping company comes from bank. So this is the graph of the share of bank finance, right? So the red one is the bond. Anyway, it is also debt, right? Also debt. It is not the equity, right? Debt. So shipping depends on debt. Right? Sorry, the latest data is 2016 because they don't provide this data any longer. Yes, it's 2017. Right? But still, we still estimate the majority of the financing comes from bank. Right? But why? Why shipping companies? Why they don't go to the stock market? Why they go to bank for financing? No one knows. If you find why, you'll get a not sure, top journals. You will have a paper in top journals. Top journals. I bet. Why? So there are some possible explanations, but no empirical evidence. No evidence. Theoretical or empirical evidence, right? So possibly we can explain this. The first one, bank loan is the cheapest source of financing. If you go to stock market, every behavior or every activity have some cost, right? So if you go to stock market, the financing cost is very expensive, but bank financing, its cost is relatively cheap. Oh, Daisy, you have a question. Why bank is cheap, right? Right? Well, if you borrow money from bank, if you borrow your money to Amy, you will charge interest rate. How much you will charge? How much? It is not friendship. It is business. It is business, not friendship. How much will you charge? Reasonably. 2 or 3%, 5%, right? If you borrow money from bank, the bank will charge you interest, and usually 5 or 6% here, right? 5 or 6%, right? So from the bank point of view, it is their profit, right? But from the basis view, it is cost, isn't it? Your financing cost, right? Your finance cost is 5 or 6%, right? But if you invest in the stock market, how much return do you expect? At least higher than 6%, because you are taking the risk of price go down, right? At least, so you expect at least more than 6% of the return from stock investing, right? It is a return to you, but the companies, it is capital cost, right? So bank is the cheapest one, cheaper one than the stock market, right? Well,
But in the stock market, you are not always assured
Yes.
of profits.
Yes.
sorry.
You are not always assured of getting profits
Exactly.
because you might
Yeah.
also lose.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's what I call risk.
Yes.
Yeah. So you are bearing the risk. So you want higher returns. Higher returns. It is basic principle. Higher risk, higher return.
Yes.
Right. So bank is a cheaper financing method. Right. That's the first reason. Actually, well, on average, shipping is not so profitable business. Not so profitable. In the later slide, I have the Korean shipping profitability of the Korean shipping companies. There are up and downs, but on average, it's not so profitable. So they have to try. They have to their best to minimize their cost. And financing cost is one of the major costs of that. So they want to have cheapest source of financing. So they depend on bank financing, right? And the second one is that the speed. Second one is the speed, right? As we have reviewed, shipping market is too volatile, right? Anyway, so if the market is good, you found it. Well, you're observing the market is good. So you are trying to get a new ship, right? New ship. Oh, but I do not have enough money, so I need money from external sources, right? So if I decide to go to the stock market, right? It may take at least several months to raise funds. But as I told you, that the good day for shipping market cycle, just 1 or 2 years, you are losing the opportunity, right? But if you go to a bank, especially this is what I call relationship bank, because if you go to bank, you know the bank manager because you have a long history of transactions, right? So if you go to the bank account and just a blink, and then he will give the money just a few days, right? Shipping market is too volatile, right? So if it takes so long time to raise funds, the opportunity go away, right? So the best way to secure funds is go to bank and have a good relationship with the bankers, right? That's the second possible reason. And the last one is that I think that this is kind of the cultural basis. The capitalistic economy, we can divide the capitalistic economy into two groups. The first one is Anglo-American group, and the second one is the continent group, the European continent group. They are different. The Anglo-American companies, when they need money, they usually go to the stock market, like the USA. Think about the USA, right? But in the European, especially the Germany and France, if they need money, they usually go to bank, right? But remember, which countries control the shipping market? European countries, right? Denmark, Germany, like that. And also in Asia, Japan is also bank-dominated financing system. Even South Korea is the same. Still, I think bank is the still dominant form of finance, right? So, but this is just a possible explanation. We do not have a theoretical or empirical research here, right? So here, so anyway, in this slide, I would like to say that shipping depends on bank financing. Yeah. But after the financial crisis, something wrong happened. Many banks, they refuse to give money to the shipping companies. So many banks, they withdraw their money from the shipping. But well, still, shipping is the major transport mode, right? Transportation mode for international trade. So shipping companies need money, right? So there's a gap between the demand for the funding and the supply of the funding, right? Majority of this gap was filled by Asian countries, especially here. This is the top 3 shipping finance banks here in 2008, and this is the top 3 in 2017, right? The red ones are Asian banks, right? Before the financial crisis, among the top 3, we have only 2 or 3 here, right? But after the financial crisis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And most of the Asian banks here are government banks, state-owned banks. So we say this is export credit agency financing. The most representative one is the export and import bank. In Taiwan, do you have an Exim Bank?
Yes, we have.
Exim Bank, yes. Exim Bank plays a critical role in filling the gap here. Or Exim banks or the state-owned banks, like here. For example, the Bank of China, this is not the central bank, not the central bank. I think it's the same in Taiwan. The Bank of Taiwan is not central bank, yeah. But it is just the public or the government-owned banks, right? Yeah. So the same. The Bank of China, well, before in 2012, their portfolio for the shipping was just $12 billion. Oh, not just large money. But anyway, just 3 years later, they increased their portfolio to shipping by $9 billion. Yeah. So many states here, Bank of China, China Exim, Korean Exim, right? And this is commercial, and this is commercial. This is ICBC, this is state-owned bank, and I think Korean Development Bank here, it is also state-owned banks. So export credit agency or ECA financing, they played a very important role in filling the gap, funding gap between the demand and supply. Right. Another source to fill the gap was the private equity funds. But well, here they are truly commercially motivated financial institutions, right? So in 2013, the loss of money from private equity funds get into the shipping market because after the 5-year long of a recession, they expect the shipping market will recover soon. But not. So we usually regard the private equities investment in shipping was not so successful because they are private companies. They don't provide any information or data, so we don't know the exact data. But many people think they were not so successful, right? Okay. It's the same in South Korea. Well, South Korea is one of the major ship-owning countries and one of the major shipbuilding countries, right? But different from its physical position, like the ship-owning or the shipbuilding, the shipping finance market of South Korea is very small, relatively small, yeah, relatively small. But anyway, before the financial crisis, 90% of the shipping finance comes from commercial bank, right? 90%, right? 10% from the government banks, right? But after the financial crisis, all commercial banks withdraw from shipping. So Korean Exim Bank, Korean Development Bank, other government financial institutions, they joined the shipping finance market here. So in 10 years later, 2015, the commercial banks, the share of a commercial bank is just 10%. And 90% of the shipping finance market of South Korea is dominated by the government, state-owned banks. this is the landscape of the shipping finance market of the world and South Korea, right? Okay, the third one. Wow, now the fourth one. Okay, overview of the SLB. So here, before, let me show you what happened to the Korean shipping companies. Here, so I would like to compare the financial ratios of shipping industry and all industry average of Korea. Yeah, right? The sales growth, right? It is a heyday, you know. Sales growth of 56%. Fantastic, isn't it? Right. But negative 34% of the sales growth here. And then up and down, still negative, and at the onset of the COVID-19, suddenly increased by 70%, approximately, roughly 70% of the sales growth, right? But well, the all other industry, well, it has the same, similar situation, but one thing I would like to stress out is the up and down volatility, right? All other financial ratios are the same. Let's see. That's the equity, right? How much debt a shipping company has? Well, here, the numerator is the debt. Denominator is the equity, right? Let me ask you, Amy. Amy. So this is the equity, that's the equity ratio, right? If this ratio is high, do you think this is good or not? No? No? You think it's not a good sign?
I think it's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep on.
I think
Yeah?
it's
Not
not good.
good. But let me ask a businessman, how do you think about Murphy? How do you think? If that ratio is high, is it good or not for business?
For us, it's necessary risk.
Necessary risk, right?
For both.
Yeah. Both.
The higher
Mm.
is not bad for both.
Higher is not good for not bad. Yes, you are really businessman, right? You are really businessman. Beijing, can you remember which one is cheaper, bank or stock? Debt or stock? Bank. If this ratio is high, it means that you have cheaper capital cost. Right, cheaper capital cost. Right. So theoretically, the most good business model is the 100% debt. 100%. Because you are running business, not needing your money, others' money. Don't you think it's fantastic? Isn't it? Theoretically, it's right. Yeah. But we usually like, well, Amy's response is very natural. Because we usually think if we have a higher debt, then we think it's risk, right? Because of, well, briefly speaking, when the market is good, the more debt, the better for you. The better for you. But when the market is going down, well, something happens. I want to tell you what happened, but something bad happens, right? So here the same. In the shipping companies, when the market is good, their debt to equity ratio usually goes down because they earn lots of money, right? But when the market is bad, their money goes up, right? So the debt to equity usually increases, right? So here, the darkest area, 2013, almost 700%. So you have just 100, then 100 of equity, then it means you have 700 of debt. So here, but average, well, usually South Korean companies have lots of debt. Before the 1998, so the average debt to equity ratio of a Korean company was 400. Yeah, 400. right? Because Korea was also dominated by bank financing, right? But after the 1997, many companies had to reduce their debt because we had the financial crisis at that time. So anyway, this is the that's the equity ratio of the South Korean shipping companies. So when the market is bad, they had lots of debt, right? Right. This is the current ratio. This ratio is that the numerator is the. Anyone is familiar with current ratio? No. Okay. Right. The numerator is the current asset. The denominator is the, let's say, just a short term, more intuitive word, short term debt. Short term debt, right? Short term debt means the debt you have to pay within a year, right? The current asset is the asset you can make cash within a year, right? Well, then this is what we call current ratio, right? What happens if this is below 1? Below 1. So you have to pay this within a year, right? But you have to pay with cash, right? But you have to cash within a year, this amount. So if this ratio is below 1, what happens? This is what we call default. We can't pay short-term debt, right? Isn't it? So there is no rule, but there is no rule. In what degree of current ratio is the best or not? There is no rule, but at least it should be greater than 1. It dictates the survival of the business, right? Here, the current ratio. Usually, the industry average, the all Korean average is between 120% to the 140, right? For shipping, less than 1. Right after the financial crisis, less than 1, and 50%. That's why Hanjin went bankrupt in 2016. Right. This is the financial situation, right? And about the profitability, right? The same, but the shipping has up and down, and 25% of the profitability. It's impossible, but in shipping it is possible, right? How about the operating margin? Well, anyway, the tendency is similar, but shipping has high volatility. That's the problem. Right? And return on equity is much volatile. Hey, you invest 100 and you get a return of 56. Don't you think it's fantastic business? Fantastic. Right? But you lose 37. Sometimes you lose 37. So shipping business, in terms of freight rate, in terms of your that's the equity ratio, in terms of your profit, in terms of your sales growth, your growth, shipping has up and down, so volatile, right? Anyway, from here we can see that the shipping companies in South Korea, for right after the financial crisis, for the past 10 years, they may have financial trouble, right? Financial trouble. At the time, we were worried about the shipping industry, the Korean shipping industry would collapse. We were concerned about it. Yeah. We will not have any shipping companies anymore. At that time, yes. Right. So shipping companies have lots of financial trouble at the time. So the government, it's a democratic society. So in this situation, government should do anything, right? So the government took some actions because shipping industry is so important for South Korea. South Korea is now about 10th largest economy in the world, right? In the world, but but it is a really highly open economy. It means that the trade to GDP ratio here, it means that export plus import divided by GDP. Right? This is 70%. 70%. Well, this is the highest one among the developed economies. Well, the next one is the Germany. Germany has a similar indicator, right? But other rest of them, USA and the France and the UK and Canada, others, they are below 50%. South Korea is too open. I think it is too open economy, too open, right? So the GDP ratio, the trade to GDP ratio is 70%. And I told this to the yesterday's lecture, and actually South Korea is an island. South Korea is an island. Am I telling a lie? Am I telling a lie? South Korea is an island. Have you ever seen South Korean go abroad by car? Have you ever seen any South Korean go to other countries by railway? No. No. South Korea is de facto, it is an island country. Well, is there any North Korean here? North Korean. Actually, if I took North Korean here, invested in worst case, when I go back to South Korea, I may go to the CIA. What did you talk? So South Korea is an island country. It means that its export and import should be transported by ships. So it is not a lie. 99.9% of South Korean export and import, they are transported by ships. Yeah. Right. So the government agency, they adopted several emergency rescue programs, right? Usually by the KEMCO, Korean Asset Management Company. But KEMCO is not specialized in shipping. They are not so familiar with the shipping. So we thought that we have to have shipping specialized one. So the KOBC, Korean Ocean Business Corporation, was established about 60 years ago, right? So SLB, Sale-and-Leaseback, is one of the rescue programs. Yeah, rescue programs done by the KOBC. Also, KEMCO also do that. Well, let me show you the structure of the KOBC. Well, it looks a little bit complex, right? No, a little bit complex. But simply speaking, Sale-and-Leaseback, right? It's like that. I'm a shipping company, and Johan is the, let's say, Johan is the KOBC, or KEMCO, just to say KEMCO, right? I'm a shipping company, and Johan is a financial institution, right? Sale and leaseback. Okay, say, I sell my ship to Johan.
Lease it back.
Yeah, right. And Johan will lease the ship to me. Why should I do it? Why? Yeah, why? Why? It's the same.
Because you need cash.
Yes.
You need more cash on hand.
Right, yes.
So that's why you need to sell it to me.
Yes.
In order for you to have more capital funds.
Exactly, right. Here, think about the financial trouble of South Korean shipping company. So we do not have money to pay our short-term debt. We do not have enough money, right? In this case, anyway, I have to sell my asset, right? So I sell my ship to Johan, and then I get some money from Johan, right? Also, Johan, I lease, or in shipping we say it is chartering, right? Chartering. I charter the ship from Johan and pay the charterers, right? So in this case, then I can sell off anyway. It is now, we can't make enough money from ships, right? I can sell this asset, but still I lease back, right? That I can maintain the operation, right? Right? And then the proceed that from selling the ship, what I can do? What I can do? I can pay the debt. I can pay it. Or if I even if I'm not in the financial trouble, I can go for sale-and-leaseback. Because I sell the ship and get the money, then I can use the money for business expansion. But I still maintain the control of the asset, right? That's the benefits of the sale-and-leaseback, SLB, right? What benefits to Johan? What benefits?
The benefit there, I think, is that I get to own a ship, but I don't have to spend money to operate it. And I will receive.
You're maintaining the ownership.
Yes,
right?
yes. I just maintain the
Yeah.
ownership
Right.
of the vessel, but I don't have to spend.
Right. You don't
maintaining
need to
the
care
vessel.
about the
Yes,
details of the operations.
that
Yeah.
I would let the lessee take
Right,
care
right,
of that.
right.
You just receive the rent.
Yeah. Just to give me the money.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Just to give me the charter rate. Right. Yeah. That's the reason. Right. That's the reason. But in case of chemical, it is by government, state-owned banks, so they don't need the profits. Right. They don't need the profit. But if it is anyway, it is commercially motivated financial institution. You don't need to find. You don't need to spend your time and cost to searching the tenants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can reduce the searching cost because right after Johan buy, let's say it is building, right after I sell building to Johan, and Johan has a building, right? But he doesn't have to spend his time or cost searching for tenants because I'm the tenants.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can reduce your searching cost, right? And also, also there's a tax benefits. It's too complex, but let me skip it because I mentioned it a little bit later. Okay. So
Maybe one question.
Yeah.
Because if you are side contracts, leasing this ship because you already switch your ship to Johan, right? And because sometimes you pay the leasing price, and for the leasing price equal to the lease ship price.
yeah, right.
Not
The ownership
necessarily.
will translate to him or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the question.
Sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
you, for example,
I
you sell a ship to
Johan.
Johnson, right?
Mhm.
And Johnson, for example, I can start contract leasing time is 15 years. But after 15 years, I pay the leasing price. When the leasing price is equal to originally buy lease ship price.
Ah.
You would
Yeah.
yes. How about if you would switch your ownership to your own or not?
I think that's a different scheme. That's a lease own. Lease own. I lease, and then after that, I get to own the. It's a different scheme
Right.
from leaseback.
Right. It depends on it varies by contract and contract. But in shipping SLB in Korea, it is usually I buy back, or 5 or 10 years later. So Johan sell back again to me. Yeah. I repurchase my ship 5 or 10 years later. Right.
So it means that you temporarily sell to Johan.
Exactly.
It's not actually temporarily. It's an actual sale.
Yeah.
But then
But to make
because we can have an agreement that I will rent it to you
Mm.
for 15 years,
Yeah.
yes.
and then after 15 years you can buy it back.
Yeah.
But there is also another scheme also probably that you can rent it to me for 20 years and after 20 years that's yours.
Yes, right. Yeah.
But that's a different
Different terms and conditions.
Yes,
Yeah.
conditions.
Yeah,
Yes.
different terms and conditions.
So you also want to make your financial status to be more beautiful at that time.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
But there was a change in financial accounting regulation in 2018, right? Before the 2018, in this kind of transaction, as you said, my accounting books looks beautiful, but not anymore. Not anymore.
But actually, we sometimes ask, sometimes you say the chartered bank.
Yeah, chartered bank, right. Yeah, chartered bank. Actually, sale-and-leaseback, well, in the shipping world, the sale-and-leaseback is not so common, recently not so common. Usually, the sale-and-leaseback is common in real estate market, like buildings.
Yes.
Yeah, like building. I think that's why you're familiar with the SLB,
Well, we're
right?
not familiar with divorce.
That's a different kind. I think Murphy has a question.
The leasing and the rental behavior will, in reality, will influence the insurance fee.
Insurance fee.
Amy，你当时你要做问卷了，你要填吗？
I don't know this behavior will
到时候
influence
分析
the
了。
insurance fee.
Insurance fee. Yeah. You mean which one will pay the insurance
If
fee?
you not rental or rent, or just if I'm a ship owner, I have enough money, so I don't want to lease or rent. I don't need this. But through this behavior, will affect the insurance fee.
Oh, insurance
Self
fee.
insurance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have asked this question for my colleagues.
Next time,
This
next time we translate in English.
Oh, actually,
insurance fee.
Next time, okay?
This behavior. Same insurance fee.
你回去把它翻
I
译成英
think
文。
so. Yeah, I think so. And usually, because I didn't mention it in detail. Previously, before the 2018, the SLB was motivated by the tax. Because the rent is exempt from paying tax. Yeah, that was the original motivation.
It's considered as expense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, but nowadays not now. Yeah. So yeah, it's natural. So we have to go to the next section. Why do they go for SLB? The motives for SLB, right? Actually, I didn't have this intention, the motive and the price and the effect, wealth effect, but we just work, and then we have the motive, price, and wealth effect like that. So the motive, right? Why firms go for SLBs, right? The first one is tax incentives, because tax is the expense is tax exempted from paying tax, right?
Yeah.
So they want to the lessee and lessor the difference between the tax rate, right? In this case, we can have some tax benefit. We will love, but we don't need to pay additional tax. Well, this is a national university. We are talking about reducing paying tax. I think this is not so desirable, but anyway, yeah, this is business, right? We have to make efforts to reduce tax paying.
Yes,
Okay.
that's a sound business plan.
Right.
Reduce taxes.
Right. So. Do you know? No. Yes.
You know, every time I do research about the Korean policy, I find out your government is very rich. Just show you incentive to a ship company,
Yeah.
tax cut,
Yeah.
or you just show some a lot of incentive to a ship company to buy a ship. I don't know why, but it's good, not good for the government, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's good for ship companies, it's not good for the government. because your budget is cut from the.
But actually, shipping guys don't agree with your idea. Shipping guys ask more money from the bank because it's unfair. Because the government gives lots of money to shipbuilding, but they give less money to shipping. So we don't think the shipping guys have enough money from the government, enough support from the government. Right? Okay. So why firms go for SLB is that the first one is a tax incentive, right? And there are also non-tax factors. The first one is the financial distress, right here. Right? Or companies can use the money from selling their assets, they can use for the business expansion like that, right? So there are some evidence from how about the SLB, but anyway, they says it differs by countries and by reasons. It differs by the nature of the asset sold. Well, whether the asset is a generic asset or whether the asset is a specific asset, right? It affects the SLB transactions right now. For example, in case of ships, as I mentioned in the previous slide, the shipping industry has a very liquid second-hand market, right? So if Joan buys my ship, but he doesn't like this transaction, he can sell the ship to the second-hand market. Right? This is what I say generic asset, right? But sometimes there is one specific asset only used by someone, right? So it affects the SLB transactions. Okay, and then the sale-and-leaseback has some various dimensions by the company characteristic. This company is larger or small. Well, this company has a larger debt or small debt, kind of that. And then financial conditions. This company has a good financial conditions. They go for SLB and they use the money for their business expansion. But if the company has the financial condition is not so good, they use the money for emergency paying the debt, right? Such kind of debt, right? So the features of the shipping SLB in Korea is that shipping is generic asset, right? So they have lots of second-hand market, okay, second market. So anyway, the lesser or the buyer have a less risk of unemployment. Okay, so usually compared to other types of asset, for the shipping SLB, the lessor or the buyer ask a lower required return, rate of return, right? But another feature of the Korean SLB is that the lessor or the buyer is a government agency. They don't seek for profits, right? It's not commercially motivated. Only seller or the lessee or the charterer, they are worried about the profits, right? This is just a one-sided game, just a one-sided, yeah, only one-sided game, right? So anyway, so I have to beautifully write this. So it deals, the SLB is driven by both commercial and national policy. This is how we use academia to do the academic writing. Okay, right? So for this purpose, we collected the data. So there were for the first 9 months of 2019, we have found 25 SL deals, right? So here, 25 shipping companies they went for SLB, and we also found 98 shipping companies they didn't go for SLB. So we compare this, right? So this is the descriptive statistics of their accounting information. Usually, the SLB companies they are larger than the non-SLBs. So for the asset, in case of asset, right? The SLB, the companies go for SLB has a larger asset and larger. The size is larger than the non-SLB shipping companies, right? So. Well, actually, I'm not so good at quantitative method. I don't prefer use sophisticated methodology because I can't do that. I can't do that. I just use simple regression. That's all. That's all. Alright. So I have to use a simple regression, but I faced a problem. Because so here, let's see here. So this is a dependent variable. Why? Dependent variable is do you go for SLB or not? Okay, right? And here is a financial ratio, right? Well, when we use the linear regression, we usually think, yeah, linear relationship between x and y, isn't it? Y, isn't it? But the problem is why you go for SLB or not? Yes or no? It is not linear, isn't it? Yes or not? 1 or 0, like this.
It looks like logistics model.
Exactly. That's why I use logistics model. Logistics model. Right? So in case the independent variable is what yes or no problem, we can use dummy variable, right? But in case the dependent variable is yes or no, or 1 or 0, in this case we can use logistics regression, right? Exactly. Thank you, Sam. Yeah. Thank you for your help. Right. Exactly. So I use the logistics regression model here, right? Describe this. Okay. Anyway, skip it. Anyway, right? So which company go for SLB? We investigated the growth rate, asset growth rate, or profitability, or the liquidity, the current ratio like that. Do they have any liquidity problem or not? Something like that. And then leverage, the debt to equity ratio. Yeah. So we compare this two between SLBs and non-SLBs, the median, the average, and the median, right? But I think if you have some writings, you may see these asterisks or not. It means statistical significance, right? Well, there are difference, but there's no statistical inference or significance. So we compare the growth rate between SLBs and non-SLBs. Absolutely, there is difference, but there is no statistical significance, right? So we compare profitability. Is there any difference? Well, difference, but there is no statistical significance, right? So we compare liquidity unless we found. In the quick current ratio, well, just to compare to mean average, right? The average current ratio of non-SLB is approximately 1, right? But the average of current ratio for the SLB, the companies going for SLB, is really problematic, isn't it? Yeah, just 63%. They don't pay their short-term debt, right? So the difference is 33%, and it is significant at 10% level.
Yes.
Right. For the same for the median level, right? And also we found the changes in current liabilities. So how much so it means short-term debt. Yeah, it means short-term debt. How much the short-term debt has increased, right? So non-SLB companies between 2017 and 2018, their current liability increases, short-term debt increased by 12%, right? But SLB companies, their short-term debt increased by 26%. It means that they have much more money to pay within a year. They need more cash. They need more cash. So this is just a comparison between them. So we use no significance in the leverage. So we use the logistics regressions here. So multiple regressions, right? So here the only for the current ratio, only for the change in current liability, short-term debt, only for the current asset. It's like that. So in any specification, the changes in current liability, the short-term debt, have the statistical significance, right? And it means that when the current short-term debt increases, shipping companies go for SLB because they have financial trouble in short-term debt. That's our conclusion, right? So we compare what happened. So for the total debt, right? For the total debt, we can divide long-term debt and short-term debt, right? Long-term is over the 1 year, right? So how much share of short-term debt do they have, right? Known as SLB and non-SLB, okay? Before the 2018, the share of short-term debt is below 50%, but in 2018, suddenly for the SLB companies, the increase by 10% of increase in short-term debt, right? It means that shipping companies are facing liquidity problem.
Yeah.
Liquidity problem, they go for SLB.
Yes.
This is what I have found here.
Basically, they don't have the cash.
Yes, right.
They have the asset, but they don't have the cash.
Yeah, right. So they sell the asset and they they get the money and they pay the short-term debt. Right. This is our conclusion.
I mean, so what happened in that time? Because financial crisis? That time is global financial crisis, right?
Yes. Yeah. The financial trouble after the financial crisis for the 10 years. Like that.
Yeah.
So it was 2018, in the middle of the financial trouble. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is the conclusion. So we have another 10 minutes of break. Is it okay? Or shall we go?
Depends on you.
All right, 10 minutes break. I want to survive.
Okay.